Hi, it's Jenny with Jenny's Wreath Boutique, and in this video, I'm going to share with you how to make a fast and easy spring wreath. To be more specific, a fast and easy forsythia wreath. Oh my gosh, aren't these gorgeous? They look so real. If you watched my latest wholesale haul, you saw that I got these. And what I love about them is, yes, they look very realistic. One of my favorite first signs of spring is when the forsythia start blooming. But look at this. You shake it and nothing comes off. I love that about these because faux forsythias, I feel like, at least the ones I've seen, are kind of notorious for the blooms falling off, but I'm sure they could, but they don't typically. So I've got a few of these and they're so branchy and it's going to look so wild and natural. So I'm only using a 10-inch grapevine. I'm also using hot glue gun, my favorite wire cutters. I've also used a little bit of bind wire just to tighten up my grapevine a little bit. That always makes the wreath making process go by faster if you have a loose grapevine. So the first thing we're going to do is just start cutting this up. And I love this kind of wreath because you only need one kind of floral, and I do have these in my Etsy shop if you're wondering. So you can grab these super nice forsythias. So I'm just cutting up these stems like this to start, but we can also cut them up smaller to fill in some gaps, which I'll show you. I love this wreath too because it's going to make a bright, bold statement on your front door if you have it there. And you're going to be able to see it from the street. It's going to make a big impact. So I'm going to keep my bigger pieces separate, my smaller ones, because I'm going to cut my larger pieces up to make smaller pieces, if that makes sense. So this would make a really huge wreath, which is totally fine if you want to do that. On this 10-inch grapevine, imagine this wreath. Right, let's see. Let's see how big it would be if we kept these super large pieces. And you can totally do that. Like I said, I don't have my regular tape measure, but I have this because I was measuring my daughter for some clothing. But if I was measuring a leaf tip to leaf tip, this would be about 37 inches, which is huge. And you can totally make yours this big. You'll just need a little more forsythia bushes. But I'm going to show you how you can use these to make it a little bit smaller, a little bit more contained, but still much like a sunburst kind of wreath. But we don't need it to be 36 inches. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a spot where I can cut it to make some smaller pieces. I like that this has some little branches on it on the bigger pieces so we can make smaller picks. So that's what I'm going to do with these larger pieces. I'm just making some smaller pieces that are branchier and they're going to fill in really well. So whether you're making a really large forsythia wreath or a more tame forsythia wreath, this branch works either way, which makes it really versatile. Okay, so now that I've got these single stemmed ones, you could also cut these smaller if you want, but I'm going to keep them large. And I'm just going to go through and do this to all three of my forsythia bushes. And then I'm just going to separate them into piles. All right, now that we have our forsythia piles, we have our single stems, nice and long, and our shorter stems. We're going to start our wreath using the longer stems. And we're going to place on the inside of the grapevine and let them face outward. And we're just going to go all the way around the wreath. And we can also bend these branches once we start getting into it a little more to make it look more natural. But this is just the first step. So we can go like that if you want, but we'll get to that. right, now that we've gone all the way around one time, we've got the base of our wreath, sort of. Let's see how big it is. Leaf tip to leaf tip. It's about 30 inches on a 10-inch grapevine. That's why when I say the size of a wreath, it's always leaf tip to leaf tip. I'm not going to say this is a 10-inch wreath because it's a 30-inch wreath. But obviously it's very sparse. So now we're going to keep going. We're going to do the same thing and just fill in with the rest of the long stems. Going from the inside. And one of the reasons we're going from the inside of the grapevine is to, yes, cover it up, but also make sure those, like if we were sticking those stems out really on the outside, the wreath would be even larger. So we don't want it to be too large. All right, now we have all our long pieces. It's looking good, but we have lots to fill in, as you can see. Big wreath. So now we're going to use our filler pieces that are chopped up, and these are going to make the world of difference for this wreath. Oh, these blooms are in the way. So we're going to place these just to fill in all the gaps. So these don't have to just be in the middle, but I am going to put a nice piece in the middle to give it some coverage so we don't still see so much grapevine. And then these other pieces can go on the outside of the grapevine and fill in a lot. We still want to have some wild pieces sticking out like that, but we also want to have filler pieces so it's not so airy. It's still going to be very airy, but we want to have lots of coverage. So we're filling in everything. We're filling in this middle part, and we're filling in between the longer pieces. So pretty. And since we're using so much forsythia to make this big, beautiful, impactful wreath, you don't want one where the flowers are always falling off. It's going to save you so much time if you get these exact ones because they're great. So they were wholesale, so that is why I'm offering them in my shop if you don't buy wholesale. If you're in my VIP group, I can give you the exact name, like where they're from and this item number. And if you're not, but you still want to know my favorite wholesalers, I have a free cheat sheet you can grab in the description of all of my videos. So you can see my favorite places to get florals, both retail and wholesale. But these are a wholesale one because I just couldn't find ones this nice in regular retail stores. But do you see how using a 10-inch grapevine, I mean, it still makes a really good size wreath. All right, so I have gone all the way around, but I have some more pieces. So I'm going to continue to fill in until all the pieces are used up, because it's not enough. I mean, you could use them as a filler in another wreath or add some yellow. I mean, they're so beautiful. Or you can just use them up in this wreath, which is what I'm going to do. And I just used 3 bushes of the forsythia. And if you want to grab an extra one to put in a vase, oh my gosh, they are so beautiful in the spring vase. Or if you have fresh forsythia bushes at your house, oh, go pick some of those stems. It'd be so pretty in the spring. But then those are going to die, but your wreath won't. It's going to last forever. I'm using the chunkier stems now, and then I'll just put the smaller stems in. Oh, that looks so good. I'll put the smaller stems in last because they're easy to poke through than these. I guess you can see up here. This is gorgeous. Holy cow. Okay, any spots that look thinner, I don't have any that I can see, but I'm just gonna place these in there to use them up. I love that these stems also have the little bud looking things at the end. It just makes them look so much more realistic, and it gives a little bit of texture to the wreath. So fun. Okay, here is the wreath. Gorgeous, fresh looking forsythia wreath. Here's the back. See how beautiful, like everything is just going all out in the same direction. It's just gorgeous from that side, gorgeous from this side. Let me know what you think. And don't forget, I have these stems in my Etsy shop if you want to grab them. Michael's has some too, but you're just going to have to work a little bit harder to make sure the blooms don't fall off. So I highly recommend these. Oh, look at the movement. It's just so pretty. Oh my gosh. All right. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, please hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that yet. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.